to sleep, this is my shelter, Hennessy hammock. Amazing. One weakness is that it has a tarp over it, or kind of like a roof. But what happens is that when it rains, it's only good, it will only cover you as long as the rain is coming straight down. If the wind is blowing to the left or right of the hammock, the rain will enter into the hammock, and it did at one point. It flooded the interior of the hammock, so you gotta be very careful. What they do have is they have an extended, I guess, roof system where this edge will come out farther, so you won't get drenched. So I highly advise you buying the larger roof system, or roof canopy, or whatever you call it. The other option is, as you can see, I brought the silver wing tarp, which goes over top. So what I can do is I can set it up so that tarp will cover over this hammock, so the rain does not enter. And yeah, this is very light. It's about 2.5 pounds, I believe. Yeah, 2 pounds, 2 pounds 12 ounces. Very, very useful. Advice. Now the good thing about this is weaknesses and strengths to this. So if you get this, it's only one person, and what happens is that you save a lot of space, and that's how I can fit it into this portion here. Problem is that it's not very good for the winter. So if you live in a cold area, you might want to switch this out for something else. What I did was, at night up in the Rockies, even though it was a summer, it got a little bit cold sometimes because of the rain, right? So I have this to compensate, which is a sleeping bag. I forgot the name of this. Again, it's MEC. I forgot the name of this sleeping bag. It might have been, I think it's called the Asgard. It's, I think, yeah, it goes up to minus 20 Celsius. If you get I guess you get a Divi or something like that, it can go up to minus 40. This was more than enough. And combine that with the hammock, what I did was I would use this mattress, inflatable mattress, slide it on, in the hammock system, and then I would put this sleeping bag over it. And so the inflatable mattress, the air mattress, keep your body away from the cold air that's running underneath the hammock. If you don't have that, it can get really cold. So these three things helped in keeping me warm, and at certain times it got really cold, so it works. Now if you don't want to use a hammock, you can use, for winter, I have a tent. This thing is heavy. It's about 6-7 pounds versus 2 pounds 12 ounces. Yeah, I think the hammock generally would win out, but this is a 2-man tent. I haven't tested this thing out, but I would say it's important to have in your tool set, because this is a 4-season tent. It's for alpine use, so high cold weather use. I don't know if I would bring this. This is just really heavy. It's also large, as you can tell. This amount of stuff that you're missing out in terms of space that you can put in your bag, because of this thing just takes up so much room, is also something you need to take into account. So again, strengths and weaknesses. If you're by yourself, the hammock rules. But let's say if you weren't by yourself and you had a partner, then I think this is better. The tent is better. So something for everyone to think about here. Okay, so in this segment, we're going to talk about my tactical vests. As you can see, everything that I have that I bring in my backpack fits onto this vest. So it's quite versatile. This is basically my, I guess, bug out vest, if you want to call it that way. So the idea is that in the SHTF, I would take my main pack and get the hell out, And then when I arrive at a base camp or at a place that I want to set up camp, I would then wear the tactical vest. Have all my essentials. Basically, in here I have most of the kit that I just showed you, and I would have about 3 days worth of food, MREs, etc. This is my first aid kit. And this bladder holder is actually very versatile. Should you not want to, you can take the MSR bladder out and you can use this as a backpack, so you can actually fit more stuff. Of course, I'd rather have water, so water is extremely important. Now, in this vest, on the top left, I have my outdoorsman flashlight, and I also have a Leatherman Wave. This Leatherman Wave is one of the most useful multi-tools, and I advise purchasing one if you don't have one. Let's see. So the rest of the available slots on the tactical vest allows me to put fast mags. I can have 4 fast mags here. I can have 1 here, so that makes 6. I could have, if I have a pistol, I can holster it on my as a subload on my thigh. There was also something else that I missed. I'm showing you guys that I brought up the Rockies was a towel. Now, a towel was one of the most useful thing, because you can't really take baths, obviously. But what you can do is you can do a wipe down. A wipe down basically is you just wet the cloth or the towel and you wipe your body down, and that's what I basically did. This is you gotta keep yourself clean every day, so I did about 2 to 3 wipe downs a day. So actually it was quite clean in that sense. So this is another thing that you might want to consider, having a towel. This one's specifically for camping. So where is this from? It's from Tech Towel, Sea to Summit. So you might want to check that out. And again, I already told you about the Cold Steel Recon Tanto. It's not a survival knife, but it can be used for it. It is more of a, I guess, traditional Japanese Tanto. Just, a lot, really nice, military looking. I would call this more of a fighting knife. This is actually made in Japan, so it's not from Taiwan. Now, another knife that I will have on my side, which will be on my belt, is the SOG Seal. This is one of the best knives. There was a competition where the U.S. Navy was trying to get, I guess, all the different knife companies to come up with a blade that would be suitable for Navy SEALs. And this blade won hands down. And one of the most important reasons why I got this was that where I come from, it rains a lot. And one of its trials was that it was salt immersion for 2 weeks. So this was the key reason why I got this, and not something else like other types of blades. I don't really use folding blades. All of my blades are fixed blade, full tang, right? But this is absolutely one of the best knives. Super sharp. I really highly recommend this. Another knife I do carry one folding knife, is the Spyderco. And this blade, I believe, it's called the CPM S30V. I believe that's what it's called. I don't remember. Very good blade. You can see here, one of the reasons I don't like folding blades is that it does wear down over time. And the reason is because if it just starts to get weak, you start seeing it loosen up. You don't want that. So I don't really use folding blades very often, but I do carry one with me. This is a utility blade, so it's not a fighting blade or anything like that. It's meant to cut rope, cardboard, shave. You do need, even though I do carry larger knives, you do need something small for fine work, like for tinder, feathering, right? When you need to feather your wood, you do need this. It's hard to work with something that big, okay? So that's why you do need one. Now you can use a Leatherman wave for the same operation, but I usually like to have dedicated things, and this is a very good investment. It is expensive, but it is one of the best that I've seen. It's extremely tough. So I'm a knife fan. I love knives, but I'm not one of those people that have 10 different knives and they put them all in their backpack and they carry about 20 pounds worth of knives. I don't do that. What I do is I pick 2 to 3 of them that I feel that is mandatory. Each of them has a specific job. So what I want to do in the future is I'm going to be buying another sock seal. So I'm going to have 2. I tend to like having 2 of the same type of knives. So like 2 recon tentacles or 2 seals. That way you will have familiarity with the blade. You know how it feels after a while, and you become very proficient in using that blade. Every blade has a different weight and different feel to it, so that's something to take into account. I like having 2 of everything, so most of my stuff, like the flashlight, the mandatory items, I usually have 2, but sometimes even 3. But I would not carry more than about, I guess in this case, 3 blades. Anything over that is a little bit extreme. Remember, you do have to carry this stuff. So I know I've seen some videos where people have all kinds of different things, and it's not out of necessity. Like, you can tell it's just out of preference, or out of I guess in some ways inexperience, because it's nice to pack stuff up, but if you haven't got the stamina to carry it, it's a waste. You're going to be laden down, and believe me, after a while, if you get exhausted, you're just going to dump your stuff on the side of a trail or something like that. It's all wasted, and you don't want to get into that situation. So yeah, that's my system. Next segment, we can get into my other, I guess, piece of equipment that I have. There is actually one more thing. I kind of brought this up north, but I did not use it. I did not feel it was necessary. It is heavy. Again, the pack's already 55 pounds, so I don't think I would be using this again. This is the SOG, I guess, Fusion Tomahawk. I kind of wanted this as my axe. Is it good? It's alright. I have the orange saw blade. That was a lot more useful. I think this is more to me of a fighting weapon. It's great for certain uses, but I don't know. I guess I would use it. Again, the weight issue is it's a constraint, and it's also got a very it's hard to find out where you want to put this thing. So having all these weapons are really cool, and you feel that you're strong and powerful, but you gotta learn to use it. If you don't know how to use these things, you could hurt yourself. I'm a knife, I use knives a lot, knife fighter, so I do now use my knives, but Tomahawk is something brand new that I don't really use very much of. So because of all this, the color black vest is another thing I want to talk about. Is that I'm not going to keep it like this. What I want to do is I'm going to spray a kind of camo pattern on it. So all you got to do is buy olive drab and brown spray, and you want to spray the vest so that you can break the color up. Anything that's black tends to draw attention, solid black. So if you're really worried about, camouflage, you can always spray paint it. And I bought this because it wasn't too expensive, and it's a very tough vest, to be honest. So I don't have any problems with it. I just don't like the black, and the sheen on it is something to take into account as well. So, yep. Other than that, that's pretty much all the stuff that I brought up.